Hey, everybody. Welcome to, I always hate that sound. Welcome to the Great Resignation. We are in, we're finishing up our second week of having this live stream conversation with folks with regard to what is happening, what should you be doing, what should you be thinking about if you're planning to make the big jump. Now, the Great Resignation, so let me step back a minute. I'm Dawn Parks, and I am the CEO and co-founder of a company called Shimula. And I'm going to try to adjust this because my glasses look so blue in this light. It makes me crazy. Anyway, so Shimula is a company that is focused on supporting women in reinventing their relationship to money. And we do that. We find that a lot of women haven't had the education to really go after their dreams and their goals because they have a lot of money concerns. And this tends to be a particular age group in some ways, but what we find is people don't get a lot of financial training. So what if you could come into a group of women and explore what do you want to do with your career and get an actual strategy based on your own vision and figure out how much money you need. And then what are your own personal roadblocks, so to speak, with regard to your strategies and with regard to your money conversation. So today we are embarking yet again on another conversation that can support women and support anybody actually who's looking to make a big change. And what do you need to be thinking about if you're going to be making a big change with regard to your life or your career? And we started this conversation around the Great Resignation. Something like 4 million women left the workforce in April. And that was April. We don't have the statistics for the most recent quarter, but 4 million women chose to leave the workforce, and they left the workforce for a variety of reasons. They're going to retire. They can't find childcare. They prefer a hybrid lifestyle. They don't feel like they're being appreciated. They would rather start their own company. They've been thinking about it for a while, and now they think they have figured out how to do that. And we are all for it. If this is something that you want to do, if you want to make a big jump into a new life, we women at Shimula are like, yay, go you. Because we did that. We did it before it was called the Great Resignation, but we have definitely done that. We've been in your shoes. And there are some things that we learned along the way with regard to what it takes to start your own venture or to completely disrupt your life and the life of your family. So we've been bringing different people on board to talk about what their experiences are, or perhaps if they have some training tools and tips that they can share with you regarding how to have it be successful. We've had people on, like yesterday we had on Jim Crump, and he is an insurance agent talking about don't let health insurance stop you, right? Make sure, there are options out there that you might not have considered. We've had Andrea Bednar come on a couple of times to talk about the silent voice in your head that actually stops you. Things like, I'm worried, I'm nervous, I'm embarrassed, I doubt myself, those kinds of questions that you don't even realize are stopping you from taking any sort of action. We've had Linda Bauer on a couple of times. She is with Uplevel Financial, and she is focused on supporting women in their wealth strategies and helping them not make mistakes with regard to pulling from retirement accounts too early or not having a strategy ready to repay your retirement account if you're going to be using that as part of your launch. So we're continuing to look for other experts. If you have an interest in coming on to the live Facebook and get interviewed by me and Liz, or if you have a topic that you would like to cover, like there's a question that you have about how do you plan for something in particular, and you're not quite sure how to plan for it, let us know. Put it in the chat in Facebook. You can send us an email at shimula@gmail.com. You can find us at our website, shimula.com, right? It's all pretty consistent, SHEMOOLAH.com. She, like a woman, moolah. For those of us who are older, we know the term moolah, but it's about her money. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking, let me get my bag of tricks out. Today, I am going to be talking about Prince Charming. Is it coming? Can you see I have my tiara on today? Right? Prince Charming isn't coming. Now, you may have a Prince Charming. I have a great Prince Charming, but it is not his job to rescue me. It's not. It's his job to do a lot of things, right? We have agreements on how life is going to go, but it's not his job to rescue me. If we need rescuing, that's a whole nother conversation. But it's important to realize that you don't need to be rescued. And yet no one's coming. Mel Robbins, if you're familiar with Mel Robbins, she has done the book 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She's famous all over the internet for this conversation about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She now has a new book out that I've been reading, which I love, which is called The High Five Habit. So how do you give yourself a high five? Liz and I talked about that at length yesterday on the Great Resignation. But the idea being here that if no one's coming and the Prince Charming in your life isn't supposed to rescue you, or perhaps you're actually on your own and there isn't a Prince Charming, what do you do, right? What do you do? I want you to realize that you don't need to be rescued. That's really the thing. Like, that's why I have my tiara. People kind of laugh at my tiara. I really love my tiara. I've done a lot of series in Facebook and LinkedIn on Prince Charming isn't coming and get your own tiara, because you have the power within you, right? You already have the power. And with the power, you can rescue yourself. Now, first of all, you have to, do you really need to be rescued? There's really no rescuing. You're on a path. It's a great path. It's the perfect path. And the question becomes, do you want to stay on that path or go to another one? But nobody needs to be rescued. I mean, there might be a few people that need help in another way because of a medical condition or a mental health condition, and that's different. But if you're a functioning person in society and you know how to work and you know how to earn money at any degree, whether it's an hourly wage job or you're in the C-suite of a major corporation or you're the founder of a company, you don't need to be rescued, because what that means is you're looking outside of yourself for love, support, happiness, information. Now, there are experts where you might need information to be able to do the thing that you're very committed to accomplishing, but you don't need to be rescued, even when you're feeling overwhelmed. That's one of my common complaints, is I'm overwhelmed. That's when I'm really looking for a rescuer. And I realize that even if I ask someone, they won't understand my overwhelmment. It's up to me to rescue myself, get myself out of the predicament. I'm really the only one who knows what I want and knows what I need. But I've done the work to figure out what it is that I want and what I need. And if you really do feel like you need to be rescued, perhaps it's because you haven't done the clear vision work for yourself of what you want to accomplish in the world, right? What is it what's your impact? What's your legacy? What is the thing that lights you up and turns you on and gets you excited about life? So what I'm going to talk about today is about putting on your own tiara and gaining the power over your own self, to be the CEO of yourself, the leader of yourself. If you're going to go out and start a company, or you're going to tackle something really big as part of this Great Resignation, you need to be the best boss of you that you can, right? You need to think of yourself as a company, right? If you're like me, I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a lover, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, I'm a lot of things. I'm my own personal company. And I need to make sure there's someone in charge of me as a company, right? So that I am clear on my priorities, I manage my priorities so that I can get stuff done. And you need to be the boss of you, right? And I can remember when my daughter would say, "You're not the boss of me," right? You've seen that before, where kids are yelling at each other, "You're not the boss of me." And somewhere along the line, we let that go. We did start to let other people be the boss of us. And I think it's important to kind of figure out how to get that back. And it's not about like pulling power or being like a dictator or trying to do some things that are mean or malicious, but it's about understanding where is the gap between you letting other people be your boss and you being your own boss. So I've got a couple of notes here. That's why I'm looking a little bit here to the left, because I'm just trying to make sure I cover all of my points. So there are, if you think about somebody like Mel Robbins, right? She teaches us how to be the boss of ourselves. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of bed, or do the high five habit. I highly recommend. I just got this book for her. She's not paying me at all to market this, but this is really a great book. I highly encourage you to get it. There's a high five group that's online. It's a great way to build a community. But she reminds us that the first thing in the morning, you've got to high five yourself to get yourself rolling. And that's like a baby step, right? We all wake up and we're really not very happy people. Quite often we have to kind of get ourselves there. So she talks about one step at a time. Darren Hardy, I love Darren Hardy. He's the productivity guru. I love his stuff, and we use a lot of his principles in our classes. And he talks about the compound effect, the fact that one small move can completely alter your trajectory. If you have a plane on the tarmac in San Francisco and it's heading to LaGuardia, if you move the nose of the cone 1 degree, I mean, that's just a very small amount, you're going to wind up in southern New Jersey. So one small change consistently over time can completely alter your trajectory. If you were going to be starting to if you decided you wanted to run a marathon and you weren't a runner, you wouldn't sign up to run a marathon on Saturday. You would make a plan, and you'd start to walk, and then you'd start to jog, and then you'd start to run, and run, walk, a little more running, less walking, running, jogging, running. You might do a 3K, a 5K, a 10K, right? You're going to build yourself up to it. So when you're going to become the leader of you, it's not something that's going to happen overnight without sometimes annihilating a lot of friendships and important relationships. So the critical thing, though, is to make sure you have a mentor that can guide you, that can keep you on track. So Mel Robbins has a particular way of operating. When we look at Susie Orman's really great at money, but she's more like a father figure. You need to do it this way. Darren Hardy is all about the productivity. And if you don't do it this way, things aren't going to get done. He's got a particular flavor. One of my favorites is Jen Cisnero. You are a badass. She's always talking about how you're a badass, and she talks in real language. So I love reading her stuff. She motivates me to stay on track. And that's one of the things that our courses do, is it provides you a community environment where you can have somebody like me saying, you're a badass, get back on track. Or Liz, who is much more nurturing, motherly, works with you on the emotions. So between us, we can keep you in your strategy and working through the emotions that are critical. But that's the one thing about habits, though. Habits are important. What are those small habits? So motivation. People get a big idea. They're going to run a marathon. They get this big idea they're going to run the marathon, and they're motivated. And it lasts like 2 weeks. And then they get tired, and then they get bored, or they're hurting or something. And then they stop, because the motivation, really, it's scientifically shown, motivation lasts about 2 weeks. You need to have a bigger vision and a bigger commitment, and you need to change important things in your brain in order for it to happen. And I'm going to show you a little video here. It's from one of our courses called the Money Master Plan Mastermind. So we have a program. This program is 6 modules that work with you. You do it online on your own time. And then there's a weekly community conversation that's not mandatory, but boy, we highly encourage it. But you're working with a community on your concepts, your worries, your concerns. It's the whole range of issues that show up for human beings when they're building something new, and they have to involve other people. So this is one small piece from our Money Master Plan Mastermind. And I think you're going to like it. It's about Joe Dispenza. So Joe Dispenza is this really terrific, he's a chiropractor that also has another form of a medical degree, but he's really taken a look at the brain chemistry around changing your thoughts. Because what's going to keep you moving forward is changing your brain chemistry, creating brand new thoughts. So hold on for just a second while I share this little piece of video with you. I don't want you to see that. Where did it go? The best laid plans of minds and men. Here we go. I got to figure this out. I'm going to stop sharing for just a brief second and go find this thing. It is, there we go. I'm working by myself today. Usually Liz is with me, but she had another meeting. So how do you go about changing your paradigm? You have to look at three parts. You have to look at your thoughts, your emotions, and the physical. So thoughts are what you think. So there's a relationship between what you think and what you feel. In order to change the paradigm, you've got to change what you think, which then changes the way you feel, or change what you feel so it changes the way you think. One of those has to change because those are the things that will drive action. Now, the thing is, the thoughts and your emotions get stuck in your body. You'll hear people say, oh, that's stuck in my body somewhere. Well, it is stuck in your body. And we're going to show you in a moment how it's stuck in your body like a habit. Because if you want to change your paradigm, you have to have it become habitual. It has to become a habit, just like if you pick up the toothbrush with your right hand versus picking up your toothbrush with your left hand. You have to change the thoughts and the emotions and translate it into the physical part of your body. So let's talk about changing your thoughts. The diagram on the right is really, think of it as chemistry. Every thought you have produces a chemical reaction in your body. If you have a fleeting thought, oh, isn't that pretty? It'll produce a little bit of a chemical and then it rapidly leaves your body. It's not going to hang around. But if you have a weed in the front yard and you walk by it every day and say, oh my God, I got to get rid of that weed. I got to get rid of that weed. That weed is making me crazy. How come my husband or my daughter or my son or my neighbor or my whatever hasn't gotten rid of that weed yet? It's making me crazy. That weed has got to get out of there. And I don't know how to get at it because it's stuck in the middle of poison ivy. And can you hear what I'm saying there, right? It went from, oh, there's a pretty flower, a little bit of chemistry, to a continuous, strong stream of thoughts. You could hear the emotion behind it, and that produces stronger streams of chemicals. If every day you walk by that for a year, your body is going to automatically want those chemicals. It's going to reorganize itself to take those chemicals. And then when you walk by that area and that weed, your body sees the weed, it's going to say, oh, it's time for the chemical. I need the chemical. And you're going to start that pattern of thought so that that chemical can start to come into your body. So your body creates the physical habit for your thoughts. I know that really probably is not good news, but your body craves the chemicals. So when you are angry with your spouse, or you are angry with your kids, or you're angry about your money situation, and the more you say how angry you are, mad you are, frustrated, scared, fearful, if you say those things out loud, you'll actually feel your body change. And your body then, the cells in your body have created receptors for those chemicals. It's got to do something with all those chemicals. So then it becomes a habit. It starts to demand that you have those thoughts. I know it sounds crazy, but your body demands the thoughts. And the only way to stop having the thoughts is to create new chemical streams, new thoughts that interrupt that old way of thinking. So the cells in your body start creating new receptors for the new chemicals. I want you to, how do you change your thoughts? Well, the objective here, if you see the red circle, is to break the bond, to break the receptor, so that this particular molecule is not seeking the chemistry from the old thought. So what you want to do is you can either break that bond, which is actually really hard to do. It is really hard to break the bond and break the receptor. It's better to not feed it. It's better to not feed it. The more you put attention on that bond by thinking those thoughts about, I wish I didn't think those thoughts, I really wish I didn't think those thoughts, I'm tired of thinking those thoughts, is actually reinforcing that bond. Instead, we want to create new receptors and new bonds on the cells in your body. We want to create new ones. We want to feed new thoughts so that new chemicals are created, and then your body has to figure out, rather than looking for those old thoughts and those old receptors, the body's focused on creating new receptors for the new thoughts. That's why. So I'm going to stop the sharing right there. And hopefully, as you were listening to that, you were beginning to see that there's actual science behind the way we do thoughts and the way we take action. Because when you actually can start to change, you want to change the physical part of your habit, including and the mental part of your habit. So people often say, well, how do I do that? Right? And one way is, if you're really disciplined, you might put it in your calendar, and you might start to make sure you take a walk every day, and then you take a longer walk the next week, and then you add the jogging, right? If you're looking at the idea of a marathon. But one of the things that my nose is really itchy today. One of the things that I find works really well is if I have a song. So I'm always out walking. It's already one of my habits. But when I'm walking by myself, and I'm out there for like half an hour, my thoughts can go a lot of different places. So I started singing songs. I would put words to songs about what I wanted. So I love Sandra Bullock, and she's in a movie called Miss Congeniality. And there's this part where she is kind of drunk, and the officer that she's with is kind of drunk, and it almost looks like they might be leaning in for a kiss. And then she says, "You think I'm pretty, you think I'm sexy," right? She starts to sing, and she's drunk, and you can see I don't have a very good singing voice, but I don't care. What I know is when I sing, it changes the chemistry in my body. I can actually feel the vibration from my singing. So I know that a few years ago, so I'm older, and I've been divorced for, I don't know, something like 11 or 12 years. And I thought, I'm never going to find a boyfriend. I'm never going to find another person to hang out with. You know, I was busy raising a kid, working a job, all those kinds of things. And so I just started singing. I have a boyfriend. He really loves me. He loves my daughter. He loves my house. He wants to take care of me. I mean, the words are just whatever words were there for me. And I love him. I love his family. Right? And I just started singing all of those things. And whoosh, all of a sudden, I have the most amazing guy in my life. We've been together about 3.5 years. We're having a blast. And I still sing the song to keep myself present to what it is that I wanted. I sing that same song, but I change it around for money. I might change it around for, I'm seeing Maddie. We'll have a good time. It will be stressless. We'll do some shopping. Anyway, so I sing these songs and keep it alive for myself. It's in my body. It starts to change the chemistry fast, because that when you're singing, the rush of chemicals that comes from that happy place is fast versus a mantra. But mantras are also really good. If you have a mantra, say your mantra over and over and over again to start to create a new pathway in the brain, which then allows these new thoughts to take hold in your body, these new habits to take hold in your body. The another thing you can do is perhaps you can do journaling, right? But do something that allows for that rush of chemicals to come faster, which will allow you to have more power over being the CEO of you, the leader of you. Because at the end of the day, it really is about you. Like it or not, it's about you. And we do have things that we are responsible to for other people, right? If you're a mom, you have certain responsibilities. And if you're a wife or a lover, you have responsibilities. If you're an employee, you have a responsibility. But at the end of the day, it's still about you. No one ever was on their deathbed saying, I wish I had more money. They'd say, I wish I'd had I wish I'd been nicer. I wish I had spent more time with certain people. And so it's time to really be the CEO of you, be the queen of you, put on your tiara, stand up and take control. And this is the time of year, especially the holiday season, when it's really easy to have things not go very well, right? Where you can be very stressful depending on no matter what holiday it might be. People are coming in and out of town, or maybe there's no one coming into town to see you. And maybe you don't have anywhere to go, or maybe money is tight and you don't have enough to buy presents and gifts or even to put a great meal on the table. But you can change that. You have to be the CEO of you. It's not the time for a pity party. Now's the time to go get a tiara, make one, get one from Burger King if you need to, and wear it around the house. Start to own your power. Put your shoulders back. Really start to get present to yourself and the power that you have as a human being. You are on this earth to create some magical impact, and only you know what that is. And don't let the world miss out on what it is that you're supposed to be providing to us. And if you don't know how to do it or find your purpose or find your passion, let us know. It's a free phone call. We'd love to talk to you and help you figure out what is your purpose, what's your passion, where do you need to go? Because my motto is live to your full potential and die with no regrets. Truly, that's where I operate from. I don't know if I've got another day or if I have another 60 years. My hope is 60 years. That way I'll be able to see great grandkids if my daughter ever gets around to that. But I think it's time. It's time for you to put on your tiara. And if you need a tiara, call me. I can get you one. Really. I have a source. And I would love to be able to get you a tiara. You got to be the queen of you. And so it's time. So if you want to reach out and talk to me or talk to Liz, contact us at shimula@gmail.com or go to our website. Our contact information is there. You can give us your email address and we will send you a quiz so that you can kind of find out about your money personality and how do we leverage the strengths of your money personality so that you can be the queen of you, the CEO of you, the leader of you. We'll get you to the point where you feel comfortable being on a screen wearing a tiara, right? Hey, everybody. Because life is short. It's really short. Don't waste it on wishing and hoping, because wishing and hoping doesn't get you there. You have to start with the wish, and then you have to put the action behind it. And it starts with having new habits, new practices. And next week or the week after, I'm working with Andrea Bednar. She's been on the show a couple of times, but Andrea has a program where it's a monthly program. Oh my God, it's amazing. I have made such great progress in my own life where it's a community of practices. You take on a practice and you commit to doing it and you report on your practice on a regular basis. And she's going to be coming on and talking about the beauty and the value of these little practices and what impact that it makes, and tell you how you can also have some new practices. In the meantime, I do want to remind everyone, we have a program called Your Money Master Plan, and it's an online only program. It's normally $499, and we're offering it free to veterans. And if you register as a veteran by the end of the month, or if you know someone who's a veteran, let us know. And we'd be happy to reach out to them and get them into the program, because we want to be able to give back. We know quite often. I have a sister who's a veteran, and I have a lot of friends who are veterans. And I know that it's a different world for veterans, and we want to be able to give back to our community in that way. Anyway, I love you all. We are so excited that you have been watching the videos, whether you're watching them live with me now, or if you're watching them on the replay. We love and appreciate that you give us the ability to talk about such important topics like this, and to work with women on the things that are the most important. So we will see you back here on Monday. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.